recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Right. I got two left hooves. Who on test? Well, since nobody's stepping to me, take me to your cult leader. Take me to your local drug dealer. Take me to the man in the mirror when you stand and deliver with your hand on the trigger, an emotional terrorist. I-double-M-U-N-E. Never make my enemy public. I'm a private dancer, dancing for money. Let's drop. Do that thing that's funny. I'll make you wanna move. I'll make you wanna do.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Spot Monkey Radio. Greco, I promise you, at some point,
I didn't say nothing.
You will be in that intro. That is our old one. Shout outs to Brandon, who is still in it.
Does Greco have to be?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Malik. Mike is here. I am here. My beautiful producer wife is here, and it is Spot Monkey Radio. We have a lot to talk about, but before we do, how was your guys' weekend? How you doing?
I know you've been waiting, so boom.
That's right. 5-knuckle shuffle over there, bro.
That's
I love
my man's ready to go.
It's fully decked out.
FYI, he's wearing that until he goes to Raw in a few weeks. And NXT will like
I'll be very honest with you. It might be my black and gold Jey Uso Yeet shirt.
Okay.
With I might actually design the glasses, since he never put out black glasses with the gold freaking chalk on the glasses. Okay. Yeah.
Wow, you're gonna make your own. This guy's already customizing his own glasses. That's impressive. Greco, how was your weekend? Good?
It was good, my friend. I can't complain. Nice Valentine's Day. Spent it at a lovely, beautiful restaurant. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, called White Castle. It was good.
What? You're a real romantic, aren't you?
Time out. Wait a second. Have you ever seen what White Castle does on Valentine's Day?
I think I seen one of your pictures where it had like balloons and shit around it. Yeah.
Yeah, they make it an actual restaurant. They come and take your order. They got everything's in little love boxes. It's actually like people dress up for it. It's a nice experience.
Do they give you some Tums so you can?
I got people that live about 8 minutes away because I wasn't making it the 20-minute drive to my house.
Make sure they clear that fucking bathroom for all you lovebirds. Good. I'm glad you guys had a good weekend. I'm glad you guys had a good Valentine's Day. Me and my wife did nothing. We did nothing, Although I did have a good time with you, if you know what I'm talking about. We did celebrate that way. But But
that sounds like she got no bread, no water. I'm sorry, I had to. I wasn't gonna say that.
If you want me to Jacob Bot to it, there was all gas, no brakes. If you know what I'm saying. I was shaking like him, like I was gyrating like him. Yeah. But a lot happened in pro wrestling. I know what everybody's wondering. You see the side topic. You see that Raw and SmackDown is already not. It's already faded away. But that's not technically true.
No,
we're not starting with Raw and SmackDown right now because we had a special request from Malik that said, "Can we please start with AEW and get it out of the way?" Now
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, "Oh God, true words have never been spoken." Now, what's up, Rough Shot? It's good to see you, brother. Thank you for hanging out. Same with Jeff and same time. Now, you said you were going to walk us through this, and you're going to have to because I did not watch Grand Slam. And for the new wrestling fans that I have now I've converted, they have tried to watch AEW, and now even them. So, like, the layman now who watches it are like, say, oh, great, we're talking AEW. So
Jeff, the goal is to get through it in 10 minutes. I swear.
I'm a just.
So Malik, the floor is yours. Let's paint the picture. How was Grand Slam?
Okay, I'm gonna be very honest. The crowd was hot for things.
Okay.
It was a nice, decent audience there in attendance. You could tell by the way they edited certain things. Like, for example, when Buddy Matthews came out, we found out that he tweaked his ankle upon his entrance because they were making mention that the ring wasn't, the regular size ring. It was a shitty ring. He even tweeted and deleted over the weekend about how bad the ring was. And, I don't know how injured he is, but he definitely did jack up his ankle. But he still had a great match with Okada. The way everything was built, you knew Ospreay and Omega were going to win the tag match. The only thing that I just could not understand for the life of me is that one spot where a guy goes to get away from his opponent while he has him wrapped as if he's about to attempt a German suplex. And he grabs onto his partner, doesn't let his partner go, and also brings his partner over. What is the point of that? And how does that look for two baby faces to be taking it? Things like that just didn't make any sense to me. I was very bothered and pissed off with the fact of how Toni Storm won, because to me the finish just fell flat. But as everything was building up from what I saw, and I think you're about to say it, Greco, is that she's been winning all of her matches with a small package.
Small package. So I do agree with you. I do agree with you.
I was just like, come on, man. Mercedes Moné defeated Harley Cameron, which Harley Cameron to me is becoming a bigger star. It was one thing you can't say negative about Mercedes Moné is that she usually always has a solid match. Sometimes the finish is just not what you were expecting. To me, the finish fell flat. It wasn't a bad match by any stretch of the imagination. I think Harley Cameron can now be a top female on their roster if they continue to elevate her. But to me, this just continues going to be the Mercedes Moné party. Okada and Buddy Matthews had a great match as expected. Okada won. So it's like, the very predictable things. This is one of those shows that it was a big show. It was supposed to be broadcasted on a broad stage, even though you didn't know what time it was going to happen. The smarter, logical idea would have been, let's just run this show in the morning as a live event on Max. Maybe we'll get more eyes on it.
Now, you probably would have.
And then just said, hey, for those of you without Max, we will be showing the replay after the NBA All-Star festivities.
Yeah. What I'm confused is, because that was my thing. I didn't know when it was airing. God bless you. I didn't know when it was airing. I had no fucking idea when it was coming on. And I think one of my guys, my buddy's action figure, told me, oh, it's like that. It's at this time, and then it's going to air like a replay of it later on. And I'm like, after the All-Star thing? I was like, it made no sense to me. So I was just like, I'm not even going to make the effort to look for this fucking thing.
You know who you could blame for the All-Star, she was in the Celebrity All-Star game barely. So WWE once again beating AEW over the head. It's a constant.
I always say Triple H is just subtly burying them without saying a word.
The Brisbane Brawl, the Deaf Riders consisting of Claudio Castagnoli and John Moxley to team up against the Rated R Cope and Switchblade Jay White. Everybody knows how much I'm a Jay White fan. Yeah. This was not the match. This was not the match for me.
Really?
The Cope, no, it just wasn't. It was all over the place. For me as a person that's a fan watching the show, it's like, okay, if I was there to see the show live, I would hate it. Because imagine having front and we're from the first 5 rows, and now you gotta. Where are they going? And it was just one of those matches where I was just like, do whatever it is you're going to do. And the finish was Moxley choking out Cope, and that was that. Deaf Riders on top as usual because they barely ever lose.
That's weird. Did that get any reaction, or was people?
I thought that was the one match that kind of got nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, they reacted. I don't know if it was edited, but they reacted in anger, obviously, over what was happening. Cope probably got one of the biggest pops with the audience singing Steam, which was really cool to have seen. I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. I went through the whole show just like that in under 5 minutes. Now we can move forward.
Wait! I got a couple things. I just want to throw.
I knew you wanted to stay on AEW today.
The Omega match, my big issue with that, and this is going to come back in later on when we talk about NXT. If Omega had this serious stomach issue, the diverticulitis, why aren't we just hitting him with gut busters and constantly just working that stomach? They mention it one time and nothing happens after that. Also, as an opener, that match can't be going 25 minutes to open a show.
That was long. It went through at least 2 or 3 commercial breaks.
Yeah.
God damn. Yeah. How long was the show overall? 3 hours?
The show was honestly, it was actually 2 hours and 3 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I agree with you with Mercedes. The one thing you can't knock her for, she's always having she brings out the best in her opponent. My issue with that match at the end is her and the girl that's the champ in New Japan get into it.
The Momo Watanabe.
Watanabe, and there's no mention of it. There's no graphic on the screen of who she is. To me, it's just some random fan that Monet just throws her belt in her face.
Well, they showed her in the crowd. I don't know if it was before the match, but I know at some point they showed her. I remember seeing her. That's the only reason why I would remember her name. Also, to go back to the whole Omega situation, because you brought me back there. Omega and Ospreay cut a great promo. Ospreay wants to challenge Kyle Fletcher to a steel cage match. That's probably going to happen at Revolution just to keep everybody out. I was like, if there's no roof on that bad boy, there's no way you're going to keep everybody out. And that never matters anyway, because you just get, some.
Well, I will say that the one thing I like AEW does, their steel cages are high.
Yes.
They're not them 10-foot cages. They're like 20-foot cages. So I give them that. Maybe that could work for them.
That's because they want these dummies to do flips off the top. They want to look cool, don't they?
Yeah.
And Omega made mention about how, while he was away for the 13 months from the company, that, Konosuke Takeshita and Don Callis were bragging about how he defeated Kenny Omega twice in 1 week. Well, since you're the international champion, you're the be-all, end-all, you've been traveling around the world defending the title, how about you defend the championship against me at Revolution? I'm like, okay, cool. All we need from this guy is to answer the challenge. What do we get instead of answering the challenge? What did I take about? What did I take? We get a mini tournament with not one, but two former AEW International Champions, Roderick Strong, who he defeated his opponent last year at Revolution for the title, and Orange Cassidy. The winner of that match takes on Konosuke Takeshita. The winner of that match gets to go on to Revolution to take on Kenny Omega. We already know that there's going to be no change in this match.
Yeah.
I am 100% sure that Konosuke Takeshita is going to retain his championship over Orange Cassidy because that's who I'm picking to win the match, and that's going to be that. Why are we even here doing this? And didn't he almost die?
We have to make Takeshita look strong before he faces Omega.
Is that how you make him look strong, though? Isn't he already strong? He's a champion.
No, you're gonna make him look stronger now because because he's got the win over Omega. He might have 2 wins over Omega at this point. So now Kenny's got to get his win back.
Can I tell you something? I stopped taking cop outs and excuses at the beginning of at the end of 2022. You're not going to get away with that with me, sir.
Yeah. Last thing I want to bring up about Omega. I love Kenny Omega. Is it me or does he look like shit right now in the ring?
Really?
I feel like he looks off. I feel like maybe it was the ring. Maybe it was the ring like everyone was talking about. I just feel he looks slower. He looks gassed at times.
Is that a little bit of a, I mean, I don't want to pile on with them, but you can't get a regular size ring? Like, I mean, what the fuck happened with the ring? I'm not understanding that.
They, I guess, weren't able to ship it out somehow. It was kind of similar to the Elimination Chamber issue.
Elimination Chamber, yeah.
So Kyle Fletcher was able to get a loan on a ring from one of his buddies, and they obviously didn't even have regular ring steps. They basically had like step stool steps.
Could you imagine you're at your house and you get a phone call from your boy Kyle Fletcher? And he's like, yo, you know that 16 by 16 you got in your backyard we used to train when we was kids? Well, it's about that time. It's about to make its debut on television. You're about to be on AEW. It was an 18 by 18 ring. Thank you, baby. I don't know. I didn't watch it. The only takeaways I got from the news feeds and stuff like that is what you said. People are kind of are really behind that Harley Cameron. But my thing is any comedy gimmick, once they start laughing with you, you kind of get over. So I think that's what she has working for her right now because she was the one with the puppet, right? She did the puppet.
Yeah. So
I assume that she's just going to be like their comedy relief in that division, and that's why she's going to get over. I mean, I didn't watch it, and you could say Mercedes Moné has good matches, but a lot of the times when she was in WWE, I noticed that it was very choreographed. So I would assume it's still the same way with her, and I assume that's what it is. But I never really saw anything impressive with that with her. I don't know. And Edge, I'm glad that he got something cool in terms of the
Sorry to cut you off. Cope.
That's what I'm sorry. I get it, but 25-minute match. I mean, like to open the show, and like you just and like same time said 2-hour show, and they take a quarter of it. Like that's crazy to me.
Oh, can I ask Greco a question?
Yeah.
I don't want to seem like I'm singling you out, but I kind of am. Yeah, what was the what did you say was the main event was going to be of the show? I just.
Oh, I did. I thought that would be the main event. I thought that would be the main event.
What did Malik say though?
Yeah.
Well, no. He didn't say yeah. I'm not LA Knight. What did I say?
You said it would be Mariah and Storm or the Death Rider match.
Negro Dominus continues to live. Continue.
I was going to call you that, but I feel like in this day and age, it can still be a problem. So good job.
It's not a problem for me.
I agree, man. So we're officially done with AEW. AEW will be back on Wednesday. I will try to watch it. Last Wednesday, this is funny. Last Wednesday, I was editing something. It was I looked down at the clock. It was like 8:45. I look over at my wife. I go, well, I guess that AEW train is already over. We're not even a month in. I'm already done watching it. I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm going to try to give it a shot again. But we'll transition over to NXT. Now, I watched NXT on Tuesday. I did not watch Vengeance Day.
Okay.
I'm assuming you guys watched Vengeance Day. What I saw from NXT. Now, let me just say this real quick, and then I'll let you guys break down Vengeance Day. I love, and this may be the Guinea in me, I love Tony D'Angelo. I love that guy. So I thought he had a great match with Ridge Holland on Tuesday night in that cage. I thought it was a great fuck. I thought NXT in general was pretty good on Tuesday. It was a very good show. And I'm finally, not to say that I wasn't, but I'm finally an Obi Fema guy. Like watching his shit, I was like, I like this guy. This guy's really fucking good.
We're very proud of you, Tony.
Thanks.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We're over feminist in this.
I like the theme song. I like the whole package. I like it all. I like the way they're packaging that guy. I like him. And then the only thing I took away from Vengeance Day is the only thing I saw, and I popped. Even my wife knows. Is the return of Santino Marella to WWE program. Oh. I popped when he showed up. And
as soon as his daughter was like, "Oh, I brought a friend with me," and I was like, "Oh, please let it be." You heard the pop in the crowd.
Like, the crowd went bananas. They were cheering Santino. Yeah, I went bananas for him, dude. He to me again, maybe the Guinea in me. I don't know, but he was one of my favorites. I mean, I used to love that guy. Was comedic gold when he would come out, and even that little promo he cut with the Rock's daughter. I had me in stitches when he's like, I remember you little all that stuff. And he was like, I'm a director of authority. That's the way he speaks. It was so fucking good, man. I'm excited to see him back on NXT at some point because I just like her and him walk away because they have plans. So I'm hoping to see him more on the WWE programming because, man, he's funny. And I'm heartbroken that that I don't have Access TV no more because I would watch Impact Wrestling on Thursdays if I had it for sure. But you guys watch Vengeance Day?
So one of the things that you alluded to was the fact that you want to see more Santino, and I'm pretty sure that we will get it because I think Greco and I have discussed this before we started up with the podcast again. Is that there'll more than likely be a basically NXT type thing. Yeah, well, yes, that's the name.
Good.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting for that to take place.
And it was announced the other day. We could just say it now before we get too far into it. TNA is running a pay-per-view basically the Thursday of WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, I saw that. And I was like,
I'm sure that's going to tie into everything.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! And who I wouldn't even be surprised if it's that, and then they NXT people are really involved with that, and then on Saturday afternoon, whenever the NXT does their program. TNA will be heavily involved with that. So regardless of what goes on, TNA is going to be heavily involved in WrestleMania weekend with the WWE. It's not just bullshit where all these companies kind of converge on the site of WrestleMania and run shows. No, this is they're attached. This is pretty big for WWE. If WWE keeps this up, they could essentially be running like their own shows all week for WrestleMania. Like, because Evolve now, don't be surprised if Evolve happens like on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, yeah.
Like that. So don't be surprised. Yeah.
It's wild to think that 20 years ago they were filming WWE stars when they were filming that Royal Rumble commercial over in Orlando. To think that now today in the present time they're working together. Who would have known? You know?
Yep.
It's pretty impressive.
I gotta say, Malik and I talked about this a little bit the other day. We'll get into it now. I loved Vengeance Day from start to finish. I was into it. first off, Stephanie Valkyrie is a star.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
they are gonna market her and do with her what needs to be done. And I think she made the smartest move by not going to AEW, because the rumor was AEW had offered her more money and stuff.
Oh,
and
wow.
she flat out said that she wanted to be in the WWE. That's the place she wanted to go.
Roughshod. WWE has always been kind of monopoly.
Yeah, I was about to say pretty much.
They've always been there. Like, that's what I'm saying. They're just subtly putting AEW to bed, and they're going to take and I don't want to go back to AEW. The only thing I want to say about AEW, and maybe you guys will agree with me, Triple H is doing to them what Vince did to WCW when he's taking their guys that they're not putting over and he's getting them over in WWE. Would you say that's correct? Now, I'm not saying CM Punk and Cody, because obviously they were made men, but I'm talking about like they're gonna make Ricky Starks. They're doing a better job with Jade Cargill than they ever did. And I just feel like the next one to come in, whether it's Hobbs, Wardlow, whoever it is, I think they'll do a better job than AEW. And I think that's going to be the demise of AEW. The AEW doesn't put over the stars that they should to help carry the company into the future. They're just signing all the old rejects. Like every time we made a joke about it, as soon as they release Cedric Alexander, like, okay, they're going to complete the Hurt Business over on AEW almost.
Hurt Syndicate.
Of course, we changed the name to Hurt Syndicate. Yeah, I know. But it's the same fucking shit, and they're just going to run that shit in the ground. Same thing with Mercedes Moné. Like you just said, it's the Mercedes Moné show because he's just giving the shit away to the rejects. And I don't mean rejects as in like they're not good or they're shitty. I'm just saying like they leave WWE. You tried it with Malekith Black and Miro and all those guys. It just didn't work. And now he's doing it with all the other, like another crop of people. AEW sucks, just plain and simple. But
I didn't think that we would see Ethan Page be on such a better level than we have been seeing in the past couple of months.
Perfect example.
Can I tell you that match alone was for me watching that like blew my mind, because there were so many subtle little things in that match. Paige keeps going, and listen, I wasn't a Carter fan. I keep calling
Javon Evans.
Evans. I did that to you the other day too. I wasn't like a big Evans fan. I was like, oh, the kid can work. He does a lot of high flying stuff. Let me tell you, watching that match, not only is Paige the star we knew he could be, Evans has got a real bright future.
Buddy, when Javon Evans was Jay Malachi in the Indies, I filmed him a bunch of times.
Oh,
and it was a lot of Catalyst wrestling, and I used to remember seeing this kid, and I said it in the headset to the camera guys. I said, "Oh, this guy, just a matter of time before you see him on TV." I saw it then.
I would love to know who produced this match, for the reason of the entire match. The whole storyline was the jaw. Like that's literally what it was built on, that his jaw is injured. So unlike the show we were talking about before, where someone had a serious injury and we do nothing to dwell on it, they keep mentioning it. So what happens? Paige starts working on his ankle, because now, all right, you're going to project your jaw. I'm going to hurt something else that's now going to hurt you in the ring. And the whole match is going back and forth. And all it took was one punch.
To the jaw.
To the jaw. And I was sitting there and I'm like, this is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, this was done perfectly. This whole match is this kid's comeback and everything. And all it took was the one, and it was no heel finish. It was no quick roll up or anything like that. He punched him in the jaw, clean finish, hits him with the twist of fate, and that was it. It was amazing. I was sitting there like, holy shit, this is great.
Now, I know that was Greco's favorite match of the night, but because of being a former tag team wrestler, I really thoroughly enjoyed the tag team title match with Fraxium up against Josh Briggs and Enyamura. I was just like, that's the first time I actually seen Enyamura have a match, period.
Okay.
And Josh Briggs to me could be something if they keep pushing the way he's going, because he's very talented and he could do something in the ring.
I think he's good. He's another one that I saw that we used to film in.
We used to fit. I saw him at Epcot one day, and he looked at me, and I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "RWA." He's like, "What's up?"
yeah, I remember he was good, man. Listen, like I said, I didn't watch it, but I know, like I said, from what I saw, the bits and pieces, like you always go on the internet afterwards and kind of see the results and shit. Yeah. I figured it was going to be a good show. I'm assuming Obi Fema was he the main event or no?
No, the women were the main event.
Okay, so how was Obi Fema versus Austin Theory and Grayson Waller?
That was actually a good match. Very solid.
Yeah, solid. Nothing too crazy, but it was.
You
served
guys,
the purpose it was
you guys
supposed to
said
do.
something very interesting in the chat about one Austin Theory, and you said that he could be making a face turn and could have a very good run in like the main roster as a star. What
Yes.
about Austin Theory that screams that to you boys?
Well, for me, he's always got the look. He's always been good in the ring. I just feel like his heel run eventually is just coming to an end.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that he's going to be the next John Cena, because I don't think there ever will be another next John Cena. I think that's done away with.
Yeah.
That
shirt says it all right there on your thing. The last time. There will never be another John.
I agree with that, and also they've openly talked about it. They said Austin Theory is like the ultimate like wrestler. Like, he loves the business, he loves autographs, he loves meeting people. They say he'll stand there for hours at times talking to people. Where Waller is his character. Waller doesn't want to. If he's not getting paid for it, he doesn't want to do it. And you know what? He has a right. Like, that's that's the right he earns as a professional. When we're at work, we'll do our job. When we're not at work, we don't want to do it.
If it's one guy you don't want to see turn into a babyface, it's Grayson Waller.
Agreed. And he was such a bad babyface that it turned to LA Knight face, and he went heel.
Yeah, Grayson Waller seems to me whenever he opens his fucking mouth, career bad guy. Like, I'm like, oh, this guy's annoying. Like, and not to say like, and I'm saying that as a mark. Hold on a sec. I'll hit you guys with it. Give me a second. I'll call myself it.
You fucking mark!
Yeah, I mean, he gets me every time. But he's a career bad guy to me. I like Austin Theory. I did all the way back when Vince anointed him as the next guy. And I thought he was good. I just thought that he was on the Vince's, like, that whole shit. That crippled Drew McIntyre at the beginning. Yep. Remember? When Drew was anointed Vince's guy and it just didn't work out. I think that's what happened with Austin Theory. I personally enjoyed both shows. Tag team match from Grand Slam was the highlight for me, just because I've been following Kenny Omega and Ospreay since New Japan. Well, there's nothing wrong with that action figure. Listen, if you have favorites, and
the match to me was enjoyable. Was it too long? Yes, but that overall, as far as off the AEW show, that would probably be like, all right, if you just needed to see the show, you start with that match and you could just stop watching the show. Honestly,
okay.
I'm not saying the rest of it was bad. I'm just saying, like, if you want something to like get you going, and then afterwards, if you see something else, you're just like, oh, that's where you stay off. Also, the key points to the tag title match and NXT title matches would be the debut of a brand new 4-man group. Now, I don't know if you remember this, Greco, but there was a time where Obafemi, most recently on one of the NXT shows, cut a promo in ring, and then he's walking through the back. One of the things that's funny about NXT is, like, if you were playing like SmackDown Shut Your Mouth from back in the day, you walk through and you just see random stars just around and they're talking. And somebody's eventually going to come up to you. Dion Lennox is one of the guys that's in the group. And he said, hey, Oba, maybe one day I'll see you for the title. And Oba's like, we'll see. Fast forward to right now, I don't understand why these guys couldn't keep their mask up. It was just a weird thing. Like, if you weren't supposed to reveal who you were, you guys did a real bad job at it.
Agreed.
Because to me, Dion Lennox is the only one that I recognize. And I was like, this is the dude that was always sitting around when something's happening and he's reading a book, or he's talking, or he's watching like one of the guys talk to girls backstage. Because, NXT, the blackest wrestling show out there today. And it is. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, the most diverse. Let's use that. That comes off.
Listen, hats off to Shawn Michaels for representing the culture.
That's right.
NXT is on the channel that Soul Train used to be on. Okay? Okay?
I didn't realize that. That's why it's all wrong.
Yeah, it is. I told you when I saw the thumbnail for NXT, I said to my wife, what is this, a teen melodrama? The way the thumbnail looked, that was just the thumbnail. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Listen, I'm all for them doing a new group. I'm all for them trying something new. It'll you got to give it time. Just like
the dude with the do-rag was in the Indies, wasn't he? I seen him too. Who's that guy? He had the do-rag on in the group.
Like I said, some of the guys, I was like, for one thing, I was like, do I need to jump up and watch WWE LIF? Because I was like, if it's one of those guys already on there, I'll be like, wait, You're moving too fast.
You're moving too fast.
You're moving too fast.
You guys, I mean, nailed it on the head. Retribution, bootleg Shield, like
Aces and eights is what
Aces
Greco's
and
saying.
eights.
yeah, like I
Aces
saw
and eights.
when I saw what was going on, I'm like, what? Another one of these factions? I was like, what
Yeah,
the
and
fuck is this?
that's my big issue with it. It's just like they came out and you're already comparing them to other groups.
I mean, come on. When I saw the mask, I was like, all right, Shield ripoff. We see you. You out
Yeah.
here. When they came and jumped them and the music's playing, I was like, okay, Retribution, we see you.
Yeah,
I was just like, Aces and Eights, the dark look. I was like, even Nexus without being Nexus, it all has little shades of everything from what you've seen over the years.
yeah.
And it's hard not to compare it to. You're just like, all right, this is brand new. Now what you gonna do?
and
Right.
not to mention Retribution is kind of recent. Like I know
Yes.
it's years
Yes.
recent, so
Well, it was a failed
Yep.
project, sadly.
Yeah.
big time, yeah. And I know Action Figure Addict brought up Jay White. He wish he was booked better. And I
agree.
Yeah,
I
assume-
agree.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Don't get me started.
That's we'll save that.
Don't get me
for
started.
another day.
You're making me go back to when MJF was the champion to piss me off by saying that statement.
2.0 was awesome. Could have been better with both Raw and SmackDown. I think they're getting back there, rough shot, because NXT
Yeah.
seems pretty good again. Like I think you know what it is like back when it was Black and Gold, they just had all the people that are top stars now.
Right.
They were all there at that point. So I think they're just rebuilding these new stars, and I think you're starting to kind of
Predominantly, they had the top indie stars.
yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how many of these guys and girls are from the indies that are coming on. Roxanne Perez is one of the ones that's like, all right, she stood out because she was in Ring of Honor. From what I understand, she was in Reality of Wrestling originally, Booker T's promotion,
Booker T's
which is why he
promotion,
always puts her over so strong
Big
every time you see her.
You know what, though? We need to tip our cap to Booker T because his school is producing a lot of top talent, like a lot of top talent. So Booker T
Yes.
has a fantastic school down there in
Well, the Usos are the first ones, right? To come
Yeah.
come through
Yes.
that way.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of the Samoans go there because Zilla's out of there right now too. So
Correct.
they're all like I said, Booker T.
He had a match with Booker as that too.
Yeah,
Yes.
Booker T's school is producing a lot of, and then I know there's a lot of schools down there. Devon Dudley has a school. Bubba Ray has a school. The Wild Samoans still have a school in Pennsylvania.
Seth Rollins has a school. That's why Nathan Frazier is one of the guys. He's baby Rollins, basically, if you watch him work.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Very similar. The what do you call it?
The Phoenix Flash,
The Phoenix Flash.
the suplex into the I think he does into a jackhammer. Rollins does do a
Yes.
Falcon Arrow. It's just like all the little things you see is very Rollins-esque.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
And you mentioned Roxanne Perez. That main event I thought was solid. Four ways you get a little all over the place here and there, but the last 5 minutes was great. Everyone hitting their moves. You're trying to sell who's gonna win. Julia picks up the win, gets her first title defense.
So I'm glad you made mention about Roxanne Perez. The interesting thing is that she took the pin. This is her goodbye,
Her goodbye. Yes.
I think.
She's gonna be on
Because
Raw.
tonight
Yep.
she's in a qualifier.
Yeah.
So this has to be her main roster debut.
Booker T coming for you.
and then, funny enough, I had mentioned to someone earlier today. I'm like, where the hell is Jordan Grace been? When is she making her return?
Yeah.
And Jack Sabrina Carpenter pulled up.
I said a joke. I said a joke that Sabrina Carpenter looks like Bruce Banner and Jordan Grace looks like the Lou Ferrigno.
The Luke Ferrigno.
Anyway.
Listen, I like Jordan Grace. I think she's gonna be great. Like if you look at the crop of women's wrestling they have right now, even with Roxanne leaving and Grace just taking that spot, you're like, all right, NXT's gonna be okay.
Okay, I got a question for both of you. Do you think it was the right decision to put her on NXT as opposed to putting her on the main roster?
Who's this now?
Jordan Grace.
Yeah, I think it's fine to put her on NXT. Just kind of get her established in the WWE system and then move her up. I mean, right now, WWE, like the main roster has so many. Like, you wouldn't want her to get lost in the shuffle because they have big plans for her. I think they're a very big fan of hers. So I think they probably want her to develop a reputation in NXT, kind of like what they're doing with like what they did with the first batch of guys. Like when you see them sitting in a crowd and then all of a sudden they wind up wrestling and then they go to the main roster. I think they want to do that. Same thing they're going to do with Ricky Starks. It's the same. I think they're going to do the same thing with him.
Let's get into it.
Now, like I said, that was the first time in a long time that I popped. That I actually popped. It was like when he came out, I was like, "Oh shit, Ricky's here!" I was like, "This is great!" And then he did this shit. And
None of us saw. Honestly, none of us saw that coming.
No,
You want to talk about
Not
like
this
because we were all just like, oh, the contract ends in the spring, blah blah. No, here he is. And you're just like, what?
But, yeah,
I was sitting there like, what the hell?
That to me is them again going fuck you to AEW and being like, I'm gonna show like these guys literally like same thing with Punk. Punk quit Survivor Series, he comes walking out. You know, like, and that's another thing too. Again, I don't want to pile on AEW, but they have a problem where guys are leaving angry.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And WWE doesn't seem to have that much anymore. Like when you leave WWE, it's either your contract expires or they just release you and you move on. Like I just AEW, they're leaving because they're mad. So they're like unhappy with this situation or whatever the case may be. And the fact that this guy is sitting everybody, these guys want to be on TV so bad that the second he could come on TV, he's like, give me that fucking mic, let me go out there and do it. Because they've been, when was the last time you saw him on television until Tuesday? It was weird.
Do you know the number of guys and girls they have on their roster? It's about 220 people.
Yeah.
But Chris Jericho always gets 5 minutes on TV.
Right.
While being the Ring of Honor champion.
Right.
Makes no sense.
Right. And what's crazy is you could essentially just do Ring of Honor as a YouTube show.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people pay for Honor Club. I am not one of them.
No, not one of them.
Rough Shot said something interesting about women's wrestling. And yeah, it did because they're actually taking themselves seriously. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Has a lot to do with it. And speaking of which, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when and I only saw the, like I said, the snippets of Vengeance Day, but at the end, when Stephanie Vacar comes out to congratulate Julia's her name, I assume, right?
Yeah.
And they're both raising their titles. Stephanie Vacar is just staring at Julia's title. Like she just won her North American Championship, but she's just like, I want that one. So
well,
like,
she said she's not going to stop.
She
so
said
like,
she's not going to stop.
I like the storytelling. I like the foreshadowing. Like, oh yeah, they're friends now, but at some point they're gonna compete for the championship. It's coming. Just kind of let's plant the seeds now and let's grow this plant. I think that's the big thing with WWE and apart from everybody else, it doesn't matter what company you are. The fucking storytelling is where it needs to be now.
Yep.
I don't know. You know, you want to give all the credit to Triple H, but I think it's him and his entire team.
I think it's him. I think it's Shawn. I think it's Regal.
Yeah, it's all.
You know, I think you have all of these guys there, and you know, we heard. And before we get off NXT, there's one thing I want to say, but you know, it's also it's Road Dogg, who is now the lead writer on SmackDown, which I saw a bunch of people angry about it, and I forget who came to his defense, but they literally said he
AJ Styles.
Okay, had somebody in his ear ripping apart every idea that he did. So now he's going to get the chance. Here you go. Here are the reins. Take over. Let's see what happens.
He who shall not be named, Vince McMahon, is the one who did it. So, yeah.
But when it comes to Ricky Starks, what I do is I tell Ricky Starks, listen, we're going to give you 15 minutes with the mic on Tuesday. We're going to give you 7 of those minutes to air your grievances. Don't say names. Just air out that you've been sitting at home and what you're worth to this business. And then the rest of it is going to be what you're here for.
Yeah. I think
there's one thing on NXT Vengeance Day that did surprise me.
What's that?
Eddie Thorpe beat Trick Williams clean.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, and my brain was going, Trick's going to win. I watched the match. I wasn't crazy about their strap match.
Yeah.
I was like, here it is. It is what it is.
Did you
and
think
Eddie Thorpe won? I was like, what?
Did you think the gimmick was needed to that match? Like a strap match, or was it?
I think it was just a match that was done to keep Trick away from Obafemi, but now Trick is more than likely going to get his rematch on Eddie Thorpe, probably beat him. Hopefully not at the Garden show that I'm attending, because, yes, I got tickets for not just Raw, but also NXT Roadblock. So I'm a very happy man. I'll be sitting within the 5th row of the 100 section. Anyway, I have to brag about that just a little bit.
Fucking guy, these 2 nights at the Garden.
Like I told the guy, sorry, not sorry. I ain't coming to work.
Guys, just a little quick breaking news. Just something just came up. WWE is no longer going to be testing for marijuana.
That makes Randy Orton a very happy man.
Hold on a sec. It's about fucking time. Jesus Christ.
It will no longer be on the banned list, and that is confirmed by Mia Yim.
Okay.
Well, that means she gets hot too then.
They're probably like this. Hey, did you find out that it's not on the ban list anymore? As soon as they found out, probably. Again, the fuck, it's about time. I mean, you know what it is? It's probably a lot of the wrestlers are probably telling them that it helps with the pain and the stiffness and all that shit, because it really does. Like, listen, as an avid marijuana smoker, I can tell you that it does help with that shit immensely. So, and I
Edibles
think,
guy.
yeah, and I think they're starting to realize, maybe, we shouldn't crucify this. Like, there's other worse things that they could be doing, whether it's, cocaine, whatever the fuck it is. But so marijuana, and I guarantee you every single one of those guys already smoke. It's just under the radar. They don't want to get caught. So they're like, wipe this shit because I can't suspend Jey Uso a week before he's going to win the title. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things. Like, wipe that off the list because I can't suspend these people. Because, like, Rob Van Dam, when he got suspended, it was like marijuana and something else, right? It wasn't just
I think he had pills as well.
Yeah, pills as well.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know. I'm happy that
and also, like, I would just make it very clear. Like, listen, you guys could do this. Don't do it in public. Don't get caught on camera, like outside the arena and shit.
Yeah.
Do it before you get here in a nice quiet space, and there's no problems.
Do it on your own time, like you would if you was gonna drink with your friends and whatever. Don't be walking out of the arena like Travis Scott with a fucking blunt lit. Like yeah. So now, speaking of Travis Scott, Monday Night Raw, let's move over to Raw now. Raw was all right. I thought it was pretty good.
It was under 2 hours from what I saw.
Yeah, it was very short. It wasn't that long.
I was surprised.
It hit the 2 hours. Well, did you watch the replay?
I watched the replay, so I was
so
again,
not to shit on other companies, but when you watch the replay on Netflix, I believe there's no commercials.
Correct. Yes.
Where when you watch it on Max, there's still full 4
Don't
minutes
get
of
me
commercials.
started.
Really?
Do you know that it's also annoying to go search for? It's not like it pops up in the column of 2025. You have to scroll down at the bottom of the search to find it. I'm sitting there talking to my lady. I'm like, look at this bullshit. I'm just annoyed with it.
That is bullshit.
But we got the setup for the main event. Well, one of the main events at WrestleMania.
Yeah, the Jey Uso and we'll fight Gunther, which I told you guys that was going to happen. Like I said, the Royal Rumble winner sweetens the world title pot because now, I mean, just look at what's going on with the Elimination Chamber. Like I said, that's what was going to be needed for Cody's. You didn't really need anything for Cody. Cody was already over. That was going to be fine. This needed that. And this whole way it broke down and with Gunther and everything like that, I think it was great. I think we're going to now start seeing like a good back and forth between the two in the weeks to come. I don't know if we get anything at Elimination Chamber between the two. I don't know what you guys think, but so far so good with Jey Uso and Gunther. I like what I'm seeing so far. What do you guys say? We'll start.
Well, if it's me, I'm thinking that Gunther won't be defending the championship, which I think is a little strange. I think he needs to at least defend it, if not at Elimination Chamber. He has to do it. Event. I don't know if we're getting another one so soon.
Yeah, there's one right before. Oh no, there's one in March.
Really?
I'm almost positive there's one in March coming up.
Now I know this is crazy and this is like a reach, and I don't know if they would do something like this, but do you think it could be like Kaiser and Gunther versus like Jey Uso and Penta or something along those lines? Because
I can see that. That's not crazy.
Like, yeah, something weird like that happened. I would assume.
Well, to me, you know what stuff like that goes back to, and this is just the first thing that pops in my head. No Way Out, I believe it was 2003. It was Team Angle versus what was supposed to be Rhino, Benoit, and Lesnar.
Okay.
And that's when I think Rhino had gotten hurt. So
no, that was Edge. That was
Edge. I'm sorry, it was Edge. And it wound up just being Lesnar and Benoit taking on
Team Angle.
Team Angle.
Now I know that
I go back to stuff like that. Like you get like a taste of the match before the actual match.
I know that person just said a Becky Lynch return. Do you think Becky returns at all in the next couple of weeks for WrestleMania? Does she return for Elimination Chamber? Is it anything?
I think we're still going to hold her off.
Yeah, right. Night after WrestleMania, I would assume, like a big return.
She doesn't right now at this point. She doesn't need to be on Mania.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
unless it was to be a surprise pop up for whatever reason.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree because I think I have a feeling that like after WrestleMania, Rhea Ripley will be celebrating like that she retained her title, and then all of a sudden you'll hear Becky Lynch's music and she'll come out and
okay, well, no, not necessarily because
that's not a bad idea though.
Yeah, and Rhea at this point doesn't have a challenger, so I'm guessing the winner of the Elimination Chamber, which...
Well, wait, I think you forgot something.
What's that?
I think you forgot something. She cost accidentally Io Shirai her match. So you got Io Shirai up against Rhea Ripley at Elimination Chamber.
No, it's the night after Elimination, or the Monday after Chamber.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they announced it for the Monday after.
They're trying to keep Monday like, fight night because they want people to tune in on Netflix, so they're trying to keep these matches... Do you think Cora Jade will eventually win the NXT title? I think they should let her work at the Performance Center a little more. I think Cora, she looks good, chunky in the ring.
Her voice is the shits.
Yeah, her voice
she's the most unattractive sounding female I've ever encountered to hear with these 2 ears.
Isn't she like Florida street trash?
I don't know. Her voice.
I don't know.
Her voice is abysmal.
Yeah.
Becky at Mania, Roughshod says. Listen. It could happen there too, but usually they save all those like returns and big reveals until the night after. Because I always consider WrestleMania as your blow off for the wrestling year, and then the wrestling year starts the day after WrestleMania. That's the year one of your wrestling year. So I feel like Becky Lynch returning, while it would be epic at WrestleMania, I think would be saved for the next night on Raw.
Well, then here's a random question because, nobody ever thinks about it, but Brock Lesnar is featured on like WWE Shop. He's a part of the roster at some point.
Yeah.
The man has to pop up. And I don't think it'll be at a Chamber, and I don't think it'll be on SmackDown, and I don't think it'll be at WrestleMania. I feel like it's a Netflix opportunity for him to pop up on Raw.
So the only thing with that is I think they're going to fully wait till he's like everything's clear with him with this whole lawsuit thing.
The legals. Got you.
Well,
Once that's fully clear.
At all, the charges have been dropped against Vince.
Yeah, but there's still civil cases and stuff going on. So they're going to play it smartly.
I think if you bring him back, it wouldn't be until like the summertime. I think that's when you wait until everything blows over, and then you do what you usually do with Brock, and he's the SummerSlam attraction. Like he always is. That's what I assume. And I wouldn't even be surprised if and I hope this doesn't happen, but if it does, I wouldn't be shocked. If Jey Uso's title reign isn't as good as they expected, so Brock comes in.
My God.
That's in New York, by the way.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think Triple H would do that.
I don't know. I hope not, and I hope Jey Uso's title reign is because he's over as shit right now, so I hope it just carries over. But I notice when you put the belt on some guys, sometimes the weight of expectations.
We said that last time. That SummerSlam is the
barometer. Yeah,
let's be fair. His reign is going to be better than Damian Priest.
I think
for sure.
Yes, but again, it's who. The problem on Raw right now is what heels is there for him to go. Like, all right, so you get Gunther, and then you probably get a rematch after that with Gunther, probably.
Yeah.
And then who's kind of next?
Lesnar might face Gunther at WrestleMania 40.
Oh, so my wife said that they're trying to get Gunther versus. No, that WrestleMania 40 was a couple years ago.
That was last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you're starting to see a heel Seth, so maybe you get a Jey heel Seth at some point.
I think they're going to turn him heel because I think it's time. This whole revolutionary babyface shit. It's time. I still don't get the fucking gimmick, but whatever. I just assume at some point, and that gimmick is better served as a heel.
Yes.
The way he is, it's better as a heel anyway.
Like when he first started doing it, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
okay,
is it safe to say that Roman is on Raw now, or is that not a thing? I don't know. I don't know. I assume that guy just goes wherever he wants.
Well, there's some things that still confuse me. Didn't they say they moved both Bailey and Nia Jax to Raw? But
And they were still on SmackDown.
but Nia Jax got a title shot on SmackDown.
Yeah. Well, I think she was owed a rematch, is what it was.
Okay.
And
For the reason,
and I'm about to, and I guess we can now start transitioning into SmackDown a little bit, but we're gonna kind of do a double crossover here.
Yeah.
They announced John Cena's schedule for the upcoming month and a half, 2 months, whatever it is, and he's only scheduled for Raws. He has no SmackDown dates.
Good.
So that
means he better
means,
show up March 10th. I'm sorry.
Well, that probably means that he's not going to be facing Cody at WrestleMania.
I think CM Punk is winning the Elimination Chamber, and I think if CM Punk wins, I think CM Punk would be better served on SmackDown.
I have a theory for that. But Cena, the rumor right now is Cena and Logan Paul at WrestleMania.
I could see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Or CM Punk. I see. I'm glad you said that because I went on Raw when he was going up when Punk is cutting that promo and his theme hits, and you hear Punk go, "I don't even know who this was." Like I didn't even know whose theme this was. Like, and then he comes out and he goes, "A matter of fact, I completely forgot you're fighting in a qualifying match to go there." Like, I just was like, I think I could see some money here between these two, like the best in the world versus this guy who thinks he's going to be the best. So I could see that. But John Cena, I could see like Logan Paul saying that I'm going to be the guy that beats John Cena at WrestleMania, although John Cena's lost at WrestleMania countless times. So I just don't see the money there.
Well, he'll be the guy that it's John Cena's last WrestleMania.
That's crazy to think about.
I know it is.
I know.
I don't think it is.
I'm starting to have a theory with WrestleMania, and I don't know if it's true, if it's going to happen. I get a feeling that at Elimination Chamber, we're going to get something with Seth and Roman similar to
Shawn
and Taker.
Yeah, I think so too.
But now I'm also starting to think I wouldn't be shocked if we get something where we get like a triple threat night one of Seth, Roman, and Punk.
Yeah.
And the winner night two getting Cody.
Okay, so here,
I'm fine with that.
All right, so I noticed that obviously the focus right now is Rollins defeating Balor to be in the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, as much as I enjoy Finn Balor's work, he just doesn't win ever.
So
and
maybe we got a Roman sighting tonight.
I was hoping for that. I was hoping that whether it's Roman or Paul Heyman costs Seth the qualifying match tonight, so Finn goes in, and then now you're off to the races with Seth and Roman to WrestleMania.
That's we got 5 qualifiers now.
Yes, I think this is the last one right now. It's with Seth.
It's Drew, Priest,
Cena,
Punk, Logan Paul, and then whoever wins tonight.
And then whoever wins tonight. Yeah.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, I think that would be the smarter play because you give them a little bit more time to kind of cook.
Do you truly believe in your heart of hearts Finn Balor's going to win, though?
I don't, but I want him to. Because I agree with you.
Listen, I do it as simple as can be.
Win.
Ref distraction, Dom and everybody else from Judgment Day is running out.
Yeah.
Roman hits the ring, hits the spear, rolls out. Finn gets the win.
I feel like Judgment Day may cost Finn the win. The way things are going with them.
I could see that too, like a big blunder. Yeah, I could see that too.
Like they're trying to help them, but they inadvertently screw up. You know, the usual.
Yeah, I could see that because there's an ongoing theory now. I don't know if you guys have seen that the AJ Finn Liv thing that started the whole thing of them fighting Judgment Day. They're all gonna turn on Dom.
I saw that ridiculous theory too.
That's funny though. If they did that. What's this theory? I saw this thing, and I don't know who it was on Facebook, but they were putting like people, 2 wrestlers, and then they were putting their net worth and all the shit under it, right? And they had Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss, and on it said dating Finn Balor. That's not true.
No, that's
right. No,
I saw that thing.
Okay. I'm just making
a fan thing.
He's a married man.
Yeah. I don't understand these rumors and shit.
Yeah.
People be out here to ruin other people's lives.
Right.
He posted pictures with his wife over the weekend for Valentine's Day.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't understand why people would assume. Maybe it's because that's what exactly. It's still real to me. Damn it. And I just think that they fucking like they in their heads like, oh, look at that tension between them 2 on Judgment Day. They're definitely sleeping together. You know, like what are you watching? The Young and the Restless or wrestling? I mean, come on now, you fucking moron. I get it. Suspend your disbelief, but like, it's Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. I don't know. I just wanted to make sure that we nip that in the butt. Like, sometimes people get a little crazy with what they think or they assume. Now, just like assuming Finn Balor's going to win tonight, I guess that is crazy. But
It's what you call wishful thinking, and you don't need to wish that hard because it ain't probably gonna happen.
Finn has been my guy since New Japan. He hasn't won a title since 2016. Let that sink in, even though his run in NXT was legendary.
Well, if you're saying a singles championship to be the top dog, no, he has not, because obviously he had it. It was for that day, and he obviously got injured.
Yeah,
he's been Intercontinental champion. He's been NXT champion again. He's been multiple time tag team champion now. I mean, at least they're giving him something. I mean, Kevin Owens should have been WWE champion at some point, but it just never came to fruition. Don't know why still.
Speaking of Kevin Owens, we got our response from Sami Zayn about how, and you know what? I liked, because again, these two they've turned on each other so many times, especially Owens turning on Zayn. But I feel like this time it was done well with Sammy's interview, or the video he cut from sitting at home, because he's just like, this was different. Like, this wasn't us trying to go for a championship. It was nothing like that. This was you trying to end my career. Yeah. Yeah. So I have a feeling what we said last week of them getting to some kind of brawl into Toronto is going to happen.
No. Hold on a second, Greco. See, there you go again.
What?
There you go again. No. You're not going to take credit for what I did on my own. You're not going to do that to me.
No.
You're not going to do that to me. You said, and your words were, okay, all right, producer, one day you can go back and you can play it back, okay? You could do this as a snippet. You could make this a little reel, okay? It could be a TikTok, okay? You said that they would probably have a one-on-one match in Canada because it's their home country. Did you not say that?
You're right.
I said, no, I think it's too soon because they need to put this match on a grander scale, i.e. WrestleMania.
Okay, you're right.
And I said they would get into a brawl. And what did Kevin Owens say? I'm still going to go out of my way to hurt you. Come meet me at the Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
Mike Greco, ladies and gentlemen, a thief. A thief.
You're fucking trying to bamboozle people out here.
You know, you build 1,000 bridges, no one calls you a bridge, baby. You suck one dick, you're a cocksucker the rest of the time. What am I supposed to say to that? Right.
That being said, let's transition over to SmackDown. Charlotte Flair has now declared that she will be taking on Tiffany Stratton for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania as well.
That reaction right there says it all. What did you do, Basil? Like, it's just like, bro, everybody. I don't have any beef with Charlotte Flair being a main eventer still on the main roster. I don't mind her helping out the new up-and-coming talent because Tiffany Stratton has had some really good matches. Has she had a feud where you're just like, I really was able to sink my teeth into it? No. I enjoyed her Money in the Bank run more so than any of the other females because she was plotting and scheming along the way while, fooling Nia Jax, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
I liked it more than the cash in that Priest had last year, if I'm being honest. But
Priest was at WrestleMania, right?
Yes.
WrestleMania, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still sitting here like, all right, are we going to give her another challenger before Mania? Because we got 2 months before we hit WrestleMania.
So this was an issue I had with SmackDown because now Nia is attacking her with Candice LeRae, and Trish Stratus makes the save. And I'm all for Trish coming in, doing a tag match probably. But now it doesn't make sense that it's going to probably be Nia and Candice versus Trish and Tiffy.
It is. They announced that.
I get what you're saying. I think this is now we are doing the right thing by having Charlotte be the heel and further establishing that this girl is the babyface, Tiffany Stratton. Mm-hmm. So I don't have any real objections to it. It's just a PLE to get the champion on where she doesn't need to defend the title.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about that until she actually defends it at Mania.
Yeah, and then you'll have, they'll win. You'll have the one dipshit put over the other dipshit going into WrestleMania.
Because
Yeah.
If you turn around and you remove Candice LeRae and you put in Charlotte and Nia Jax will probably wind up winning.
Well, and on
Well,
paper, sure.
And that's not what they need.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can have one of them pin Trish. You have Charlotte pin Trish. No one's gonna be mad about that.
Well,
No.
You
But
know,
you
it
already
doesn't
know-
hurt.
you
Okay.
already know how this goes down. This goes down simple. Tiffany Stratton pins Candice LeRae.
Okay. Now this because Greco and I watched the show, so I'm going to ask Greco.
Yeah.
We had 3 people representing their home country of Australia in AEW. Only one of them won in the main event to send everybody home happy. Were you in agreement with Harley Cameron losing?
Yes and no.
I was like,
Okay. So my issue with that, and we're gonna go back to AEW now real quick. I don't think she should have won a match going into that pay-per-view. I think that that Sasha should have been so frustrated with her that she just gave her a match but non-title, and then that should have been her first win. And then she could have again got the rematch at Revolution, and then she takes the loss.
Okay. And then we had Buddy Matthews take on Okada, right?
He lost.
And he lost. I don't think that was a match that mattered that much, so I was fine with the end result. But I'm just saying,
I'm okay with Trish taking a loss in Canada because it's Trish Stratus.
But I also,
and just like Tony just said about Candice LeRae taking a loss.
yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, here's my thing with it is, isn't the unwritten rule in pro wrestling that you always lose in your hometown? Like, you don't tend to go over. Because I always notice that a lot of these guys, like Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber last year when he fought Roman, right? And he was in his hometown, and everybody thought he could win, and you knew it was insurmountable. But like, I always notice that when they're in their hometown, you have this weird feeling, oh, he could win because it's his hometown, but they always lose. They never.
Yeah, but see, I think for Sammy, and he said it, and I think one of us said it last year. I don't remember if it was Malik or I. I think just having that match, that main event in Canada in front of his family and everything, meant more than ever winning the title.
Than ever winning.
Yeah.
You know, I think guys have a different mindset now, which I get it. It's not always the best mindset of, well, if I'm not the champion, I'm okay with that. Which I think it was Cody recently said, like, then what are you doing here? Then get the fuck out. But at the same time, like, guys that have been there long enough, like, you just want a moment. Like, everybody wants their big moment in front of where they came from.
Yeah.
There have been more people who've lost than have won in their hometown. The only ones that I could think of where they were in their hometown and they won, Trish when she retired at Unforgiven in 2006. But when you say you're retired, you're not really retired. John Cena and Boston when he came back from his injury after wrestling Batista in 2008 in SummerSlam where he defeated Jericho to become World Heavyweight Champion. There are a few ones like that where they get the win. I feel like this is one of those things where she's going to get the rub to be anointed as the new blonde from Trish. That's one part of the rub to help elevate her and get her over, and they get that tag team win. And then going into Mania, there's that 50-50 shot of, oh, she's going to win or she's going to lose. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we should surprise everybody and have her defeat Charlotte.
I think so, too. I think, and I said this on Friday on the other show that we do now on False Finish called The Feed. You can catch that at 2 p.m. every Friday right here on False Finish. But I said that you need Charlotte to elevate Tiffany and to win. She needs to win. If that's gonna be your future, then she needs to be Charlotte Flair. It has to happen at WrestleMania. And then and then if you want to move Charlotte to Raw to maybe fight with Rhea Ripley or some shit like that, you can do that. But I think it should be that way. Like if Tiffany Stratton is the one you're gonna go with now, that she's got the rocket ship, right? Then it only makes sense to win at Wrestle. I don't care about the Elimination Chamber, but against one-on-one against Charlotte for the world title, she has to win. If she's the one, if you're just gonna put the belt back on Charlotte, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? It makes no fucking sense at this point. And not to mention, like Action Figure Addict said, Charlotte Flair looks like a melting candle now. Like it's weird. Like
it's terrible.
The memes are getting ridiculous. How they keep calling her. It was like, oh, here comes grandmother Charlotte. I was just like, yo. The woman is like in her I want to say either mid to late 30s, and she's getting roasted.
Well, you know what it is?
Hard.
It's all and I'm only saying this because somebody put a side by side picture of her debut in NXT to what she looks like now, and clearly she's had some work done.
She's 38.
Okay, what you both don't realize is that, if it's one thing I've noticed is that we've never seen Charlotte and Cher in the same area. So if I could turn back time and I could find a way to prove it, I will. Otherwise, I'll take back those words that'll hurt you.
So currently with her marital status, are you saying that she's got to believe in life after love?
I'd say so. No matter how hard she tries, you'll keep pushing her aside. And she can't do that because there's no turning back. I'm sorry.
We're good. So the only issue, this match comes with a double-edged sword. Tiffany should win. She should go over. She's the right call.
Yeah.
The problem, I think, is after this for Charlotte, what do you do with her if she loses? Like, even the whole Rhea Ripley, like, to me, there's nothing for her after she loses.
But here's and I said this also on Friday. Don't you think, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, that the time has passed for those 4 girls? Like, I mean, I know Mercedes Moné is on the AEW milking that dummy for every cent that he's worth, right? But on this show, on WWE programming, Becky Lynch disappears a lot. Like, she does movies now. She's a mom, right? Bailey now is really using her status to elevate young talent around her.
I totally agree.
Yeah, and I think Charlotte now is coming to that end of the rope, just like the rest of them. So it's either you're going to be like Bailey and help put over the other talent, or you're going to be like Becky and disappear every now and again because your spot is kind of disappearing anyway. So it's one of those two. Like you just said, she loses to Tiffany. There's really not much where she can go, but her status and her name has her elevated at a certain point in the game. So if she wants to go to Raw to fight Rhea Ripley, she can. She wants to stay on SmackDown and go into different feuds, she can. But now you're a heel, okay? They sent Nia Jax over to Raw, and I guess Nia Jax was the main female heel on SmackDown, right? So now you're sending her over to this one. Now I guess SmackDown needs a prime heel female. So I guess you would keep her on there. And not to mention, you also have Alexa Bliss on SmackDown now, who is going to go back into the Wyatt bullshit because you saw during that promo where it kind of cut it out. So she's another one. Does she stay babyface, or are they all going to go heel now that they're on SmackDown away from the Karrion Kross group? So there's like no other faction for them to fight. So it's very confusing as to where Charlotte would go if she lost. But if she won, it's even confusing because now you put all this shit on Tiffany Stratton only to have her hand the belt back to Charlotte. It would make no fucking sense. How was that? Have Charlotte resort to some old school Rick dirty trick, have Becky come out, cause the distraction to. I mean, I guess you could do something like that where Becky but that's to me, that's too convoluted. Now
and then you're kind of just pushing Tiffy to the back, and
now
I don't think you need to do that.
She becomes Tiff becomes the Miz to John Cena and The Rock at that point.
Yes,
where like you forgot Miz was in the match. You forgot he was there.
Listen, I got to give her flowers because Tiffany Stratton isn't the girl that normally gets over right away with the WWE crowd because of the look, because of the the whole like she was daddy's girl and all of that. She's showed very quickly, and I think a lot of it had to do with the Becky hardcore match that her and Becky had at NXT. I forget which one it was.
Yes.
And she was taking bumps. She was going into ladders. She was doing all this crazy shit. And I think from that moment, people were like, all right, this girl isn't just a pretty face. Like, the Vince era is kind of ending where it's girls that are really pretty and can't wrestle or girls that aren't the prettiest, but they can work in the ring. Now you're getting the mix.
What would happen is Triple H is signing athletes because wasn't Tiffany Stratton a gymnast? Wasn't she like an Olympic gymnast too? That's what I'm saying. If you get athletic people, it doesn't matter whether you pee standing up or sitting down. If you're athletic, you're athletic. So if you're athletic and you can work, then you can work. The problem with Vince is he thought with his pee-pee. You understand? Yeah. He started like, oh yeah, and then he would try to put the rocket ship or whatever the fuck the case may be. Triple H sees the athleticism. Triple H doesn't think with his dick; he thinks with his head. He thinks with his wrestling mind. So that's why these women, like Rough Shot said before, it's not a bathroom break anymore because you're putting in people who can carry themselves and are athletic enough to make it believable. It's not this bullshit where you can clearly tell they're afraid to get hurt. They're afraid to take the bump because they don't want to get hurt. It's not like that no more. They're athletic people, so they're just gonna go. They got a motor, man, and they're gonna turn that shit on and go 100 miles an hour, and do the damn thing. So it's one of those things where, again, I hate to be this guy and be like a Triple H shill, but he's fucking saved this business. Whether you want to admit it or not, he did, because Vince was on the fast track to putting this shit in the toilet because it was getting there quickly. And this guy has now not only made compelling long-term storytelling, but he's making everybody across the board, whether you're male, female, or in between, you're all over now. It's beautiful.
There's one thing I do gotta give him a punch for, though. You created the secondary women titles, and neither one of them won their qualifying elimination chamber match.
Yeah,
I'm a little surprised that
he did Rough Shot. He absolutely did.
I was not. I feel like Lyra Valkyria. I just knew she wasn't going to win.
That was obvious because she had just become
that was that, and Bailey has been running around on all three shows.
Yeah.
So I feel like, regardless of Bailey still losing on, let's say she lost Cara Jade last week.
Yes.
She's still going around, so they're still going to give her and highlight her in a proper position. I was a little surprised Chelsea Green didn't win, but I feel like with Naomi winning, just plants more of the seeds towards whoever attacked Jade Cargill, which they were about to show, and they didn't. And I'm just like, my God. Somebody, the internet has been making that joke. That I was just like, come on, bro. This is what we doing right now? I was like, that'd be great.
God, listen, I'm going to throw this out there. Can I tell you, it's 2002. I would say it's probably around, February, March, whatever, and we're watching that whole thing play out as it goes, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be a good SummerSlam, whatever, bought tickets. Now we're into July, and Shawn Michaels gets attacked, and I'm like, I wonder what's going to happen here. Shawn Michaels, Triple H at SummerSlam. Let's go.
Great, dude. You know what the funny thing is you guys obviously see where this goes, right? Where Naomi and Bianca Belair are in the ring celebrating together, and then all of a sudden Jade Cargill comes out with the actual footage, right? And then shows that it's Naomi and Bianca does one of these, like, how could you? I can't believe it. And then that I assume it's that kind of shit, or are they both gonna go heel? What do you guys think?
It's Greco, go ahead. I think
I don't know. So I don't know who's gonna win this women's chamber match.
Yeah.
Maybe Bianca wins the women's chamber, and we're gonna get then Naomi and Jade around WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't know. I kind of thought it was gonna happen at Rumble.
Yeah.
I thought that would be the start of it, but
I don't know what's going on with it. They're really pushing it off. They're pushing it back. I don't know what's going on.
This occurred before Survivor Series, right?
Yes, she was
because Jade was taken out of the Survivor Series match.
Yes,
right. So obviously, it was said that she had other obligations and blah blah blah, and then it wasn't even spoken about until basically last Friday night. And I'm like, oh, we're finally getting somewhere. I have to say that because they put it at a hush, I did become turned off from the story.
You kind of forgot about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm here and I'm like, when is the reveal going to take place? Because now because obviously with the women's elimination chamber, there can only be one that wins. There's going to be some sort of complication between the tag champions.
If I may just kind of, I assume that they'll have a match, whether it's on SmackDown, Raw, or something in a tag team format, and that's what it happens.
It just hit me.
What?
Tonight, Roxanne Perez takes on Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Is it a possibility that with these girls coming to Raw tonight, they wind up giving Roxanne. They kind of give her inadvertent help for
Yeah.
Roxanne to qualify,
Yeah.
which leads to her and Bailey still continuing their feud.
Yeah.
Now on the main roster from NXT. It's a thought in mind.
Yeah,
Well, I think either way, I think Roxanne is somehow winning tonight. I think they'll do that.
Yeah.
Also, I want you guys to remember something that are watching out there, because Greco, knowing him, he'll forget and he'll take credit for it. So I just want you to focus on me and not him. Remember who said it first.
Roughshod, this is a great Roughshot, this is a great comment. In theory, Jim Cornette wouldn't be able to get along with those three. He would probably drive them up a fucking.
I think William Regal would just punch him in the face.
Yeah. Well, goddamn, we're not doing that shit. It would be fucking ridiculous. Although I did see that they're trying to make a push for him to go into the Hall of Fame this year, which would be pretty funny to see.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Deserved.
I would be all for it.
Speaking of Hall of Fame, we got our second person going in.
Michelle McCool, right? Yeah. And
How about our rumored people?
I like how
Demolition.
Yes. They just signed Legends deals, and the fact that they're not in there yet is a travesty.
Yeah.
By the way, okay.
Well,
and I just want to say I love how they're doing this shit now, where they're surprising you like the NFL, like where they kind of just walk like they did to Triple H, which Undertaker and Shawn came out.
Yeah.
And like you have to, they're clearly jacking shit from sports, like you could tell, like the certain things they're doing, and certain things I'm okay with. That's what they want. Exactly. They want you to take it seriously like an actual sport nowadays, which I'm fine with. But there's just certain things that I won't ever agree with, like the shit at the beginning of War Games. Fuck you. That bullshit with like from I Love You Solo University or whatever the fuck. Like that.
What?
It's funny you say that, because I don't know how much love is going to Solo right now from Mr. Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, dude, that was sick. And now, can we just admit that that's going to be a match at WrestleMania? Obviously, Jacob versus Solo.
By the way, I thoroughly enjoyed his Batista 2005 look. Solo, that is.
That was great. You said that was great.
And the fact that he said the line to Jacob. I love you, Jacob. I was just like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a match I want to see at Mania, though.
Well, I think they're going to try to turn Solo babyface. I just don't think it's going to work.
That would be a mistake. I think Jacob was getting cheers over Cody the other night.
That's what I'm saying. Jacob is the baby. Jacob is the guy you turn face.
Yes.
Here's how I would do it. Just real quick. I would have them fight at WrestleMania, right? And you assume that Tama Tonga is going to help Jacob, but he doesn't. Because in that promo, when he said what he said and Jacob walks away, he looks over at Tama Tonga and there's like a pause between the two, between Solo and him. And then when I saw that, I thought, oh, I see how they turn. Where you think they're going to try to turn Solo baby. That's why he did that I love you, Jacob shit, where he's trying to look sympathetic. And then right then and there, he's going to pull the rug where Tama Tonga is going to clobber Jacob and you turn Jacob into a baby face kind of. That's where I see it going. And I think that would be the smart play, because I just don't see Solo as a baby face. I don't see it.
No.
Well, you know what's funny? On NXT, when he was recognized as a street champ, he was a babyface towards the end of his NXT run.
Yeah, and this is true only, like I said, because Booker T is just puts out talent after talent after talent.
I just want whatever Jacob Fatu does at WrestleMania, it has to be major. I think it will be.
Yeah. Well, I think him and Solo is a solid match for both of them.
Yeah, I think so. I think this Friday on SmackDown, they're going to have some words because Solo accidentally cost them the match. So obviously they're starting to have some animosity. So it's going to start the tensions now. And I think the breaking point is either Elimination Chamber or like the week after Elimination Chamber, because they got to have some kind of program going into WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You know, I could see at some point a tag match, Solo and Jacob against Cody and somebody, and you know, you're gonna probably a returning Randy Orton, possibly, and that's how.
Speaking about somebody, we don't know what the hell's happened to him forever.
Did he get hurt, or it's like nobody knows what's going on with Randy?
It was an angle, but I don't know if he was really hurt or
what's
going on.
Like, I mean, he took one of the softest pile drivers ever. So it's just like right now, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And I hope he's not hurt again, because that would really suck.
Yeah.
He had he had back fusion surgery in 20. I think what happens is he's just getting older, and I think he's on that lax schedule like Roman Reigns, so they just write him off TV to give him his breaks. I think he probably has a very limited schedule. I mean, Randy Orton has been there since 2001. Like,
Yeah.
it's when he was signed.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the fucking guy is a journeyman with WWE, and
It says the Royal Rumble would have been the best place for him to return.
yeah, and he didn't. So that's why people are confused by it. That's why nobody understands.
But
That
Cody Rhodes will likely face the winner of the
all right.
Unless you do something where somebody gets like taken out before Chamber,
Yeah.
and like you need to.
What
get
if you do
somebody
that thing? What was that Edge where he took out Kofi Kingston at Elimination
at
Chamber
Elimination
and
Chamber?
took his spot? Maybe something like that could happen.
Well, remember, Edge is the only man to create history by losing in the opening Elimination Chamber match and then coming back and winning later on by stealing Kofi Kingston's spot,
Yeah.
which is one of those things that happened that not many people talk about, but it was a cool moment.
It was
Yes, agree. As much as I like to shit on Edge, yes, that is one of the cooler moments for sure.
That being said, our next segment, one of our closing segments, is forgettable workers. And the reason I bring this up to you, gentlemen, is because last Friday on the feed, I had brought up this topic called obviously Fantasy Booker, and I had this beautiful plan for Ricky Stark to fight Tony D'Angelo for the North American Championship. I had felt this whole thing out. Then I go back and I watch the cage match and realize that Ty Dillinger, Sean Spears, whatever the fuck you want to call this guy, apparently beat the shit out of Tony D'Angelo after the cage match, and he's so forgettable to me that I completely wiped that from my memory bank. I don't remember it at all, but I did see it. Okay? So that's when I thought to myself, like, we should talk on Monday about some of the most forgettable wrestlers that we've seen, where you're like, whatever happened to that guy? Or the shit like that, where, like, if you would have told me that Sean Spears was back in NXT, I would have thought you were crazy. That's how forgettable he is to me. I just don't ever retain anything that fucking guy does. It doesn't stick with me. So I just wanted to ask you two gentlemen. We'll start with Malik. Which one, if you had to pick one, is one of your most forgettable wrestlers that you've ever seen?
That's a tough one. You're really gonna have me sit here and think like
Greco,
Greco, if you got Greco, if you got somebody.
I mean, I don't have a grenade or anything I'm going to throw out here. This guy Chris Jericho to me is just.
Yeah, I'll say this: his AEW run is very forgettable.
It's more so what he's doing today. That's forgettable.
Okay. All right. Now, and this isn't me taking a shot, and I'm being really honest when I say this. I feel that Dean Ambrose, at the end of the day, will be one of those forgotten guys.
You think so?
I honestly think so, because people forget he was champ. If it wasn't for the the Shield stuff, anything after the Shield, what could you tell me? Like he did the thing with Lesnar that was god awful. We were there for that, Tony.
Yeah, it was bad.
Okay, the WrestleMania match. He had the match with Jericho that was focused around a plant.
Was that match at MetLife, right? Because I wasn't there for that.
No, that was Texas.
That's how forgettable it was.
Yes.
I don't remember it.
And like again, I'm not trying to take a shot at him or anything like that, but I put him as one of those guys that you just kind of like, he was there for a while.
Yeah. Michael, action figure addict brought up Michael McGillicuddy. You want to talk about a guy with wasted potential? The son of Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, and just completely blundered, and that one's sad. I will say that.
Agreed. On television, agreed. But one thing about him, they always called him when guys needed to get back into the ring.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's one of those things of, he didn't have the character, but he was always useful to other guys.
I mean, he was on the B team. They had pretty good matches, him and
Bo Dallas.
Yeah, Bo Dallas. Yeah, they weren't too bad. But he's like, I'm talking about, like I said, Sean Spears left NXT, went to AEW. I remember seeing him sit like he was sitting on the stage like he does at that spotlight. And I remember my thing going, who's this? Like, I didn't even put two and two together. Like, that's how forgettable he is to me. And then, like I said, to sit here, and now Action Figure Addict said he's going to be on NXT tomorrow. That's how forgettable he is to me, Action Figure Addict. That
He'll be
guy,
taking on Stacks tomorrow on NXT.
that guy.
Who, let me tell you, Stacks is the same way outside of NXT because I saw him at Epcot also that same night and looks the exact same with the big glasses and comes off as the exact same douche that he portrays on TV.
That's crazy. But I still stand by my fantasy booking thing, and I think Ricky Starks should fight for the North American Championship. I do believe that. I don't think Ricky Starks should be fighting Obi Fema right out of the box. That should be the thing, but
I don't think they're gonna straight away go with that.
Yeah, but I don't think Tom.
Ricky.
Like again, the Sean Spears thing, I completely didn't. I forgot that he's involved with them. I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Oh, would you say like a guy like Damian Sandow?
Forgettable?
Forgettable? Yeah, I guess because like. You tell me though. Apart from when he used to do this shit, where he
Can't say who was Hideo Itami.
That's not terrible.
I don't think he was forgettable. I just think once he got hurt, everything just changed.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Everything just changed. He had solid matches when they put him on 205 Live.
You know, was another
Sadly,
one,
that's what they did with him.
another one who is very forgettable. Jason Jordan. That guy is very...
again because of injury, I think though. Because they had plans.
You're saying even while he was around, he was forgettable?
I don't like. The only thing I remember is they tried to push that Kurt Angle's son bullshit.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
yeah.
That was again he who shall not be named, thinking,
That
"Oh,
was
I'm going to do
rough.
something funny. He'll have a black baby." Like you know,
It was the answer was staring right in front of you with his tag team partner. It was staring right in front. Simon Gotch. The men are here. Okay. All right, so I actually figure out it. Apparently, they're not so forgettable because you remember them all.
Do we think of a guy like Austin Aries?
Yes, very forgettable. Yes, Frankie Kazarian to me is very forgettable too.
Really?
He's still wrestling.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly my point, boys.
Wow.
I'll give you one. Again, they're not forgettable, but just we haven't seen it. What happened to Scorpio Sky?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And nobody knows.
Nobody will ever know.
Nobody knows where he is. Nobody knows where Keith Lee is. Nobody knows where Wardlow is.
Keith Lee is another one, and it's crazy because he's such a big man, but he's very forgettable. He doesn't have any to me. Apart from his frame, I don't really remember anything from him.
During his time while being on NXT, and then when they used to do Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT, he had what looked to be like a promising future.
It was him and Roman as the last guys in the Survivor Series match, and then him and Lesnar, where Lesnar's like, "Oh, look at this big motherfucker."
Yeah, I'm like, you had something going there, and then the pandemic came about, and then you wanted him to be the Bearcat, and that just went straight to shit.
John Morrison.
My wife, my lovely wife, just looked up the reason you don't see Scorpio Sky is because, like as Malik said before, when you fall out of the rotation because they have so many wrestlers, it's hard for him to get back into the rotation.
Yeah.
He's waiting for the right opportunity, right situation.
With a roster of 220, but you see the Death Riders every week.
I know. And the same thing about the Death Riders is they come out, it's literally crickets.
And that is what you call go away heat.
Yeah.
If you're not getting any kind of reaction whatsoever.
I have one thing to bring
that also goes into being forgettable because if they don't cheer, if they don't boo, they immediately forget about you when it's done.
Did we see from the ROH taping the I think it was a 6-man. It was the Learning Tree against Bandito and the Blade Runners, Outrunners, whatever they're called?
No, I didn't see that.
So at one point, one of the Outrunner guys, Blade Runner, what are they?
Outrunners.
One of them has Big Cass set up for Old School and literally walks the top rope around all 4 ring ropes with Big Cass going like this the whole time. I get it. It's kind of like a house show. Maybe they're not going to show it on TV, so then I don't care, and it was just something somebody filmed. Look, house show stuff is totally different. But if you're doing this on TV, that this guy's literally walking the ring ropes around the entire fucking ring, what are we doing?
Can I tell you something? If I was the referee for the match, which I occasionally do, I would have counted him to 5 and disqualified him. Because there's no way you should be up there for more than 5 seconds. What are we doing here?
Woody, if that was if it was a strain of weed that you smoked to watch AEW, that would be what we would need.
It would work for everybody.
I wish there was a strain of weed called the Learning Tree. It does sound like a preschool. But here's the thing: it's a preschool. It's a preschool gimmick because when you see it, you're like, "This is fucking amateur." Like really, seriously, it's bad. It's not good, man. It's very bad. But listen, the one takeaway I will say from this episode is AEW is the drizzling shits. Sean Spears is an absolute waste of space, and WrestleMania seems and the Elimination Chamber seems to look like pretty interesting shows. And you know what? As crazy as this sounds, I can't believe I'm going to say this. TNA wrestling has been around for what, 24 years now at this point? 25 years, right?
20. No. They came in June 19th of 2002. 23 years would be the
23 years.
Yeah.
For the first time in about 12 years, I'm actually excited for TNA. Like I'm actually excited.
Agreed.
For in the first time in like over a decade.
And you know what? We didn't get a lot of TNA today. I'm going to make a point to watch it this week and something we can talk about a little more next week.
Yeah, Malik, if you have that thing still, please let me the TNA streaming thing just so I can watch some of the stuff so I can get caught up. Because I would love to watch. I would love to watch it on Thursdays, but unfortunately, Verizon doesn't have access television, so I can't watch Impact. But I want because now that they work with WWE, and I didn't realize that Santino Marella had such a prevalent role on TNA. So now I have to watch it because Santino Marella, that's one of my favorite.
The director of authority, the same role that Don Callis had in 2003, the same role that Vince Russo had in 2004, the same role that Eric Watts, the son of Bill Watts, had in 2003 before Don Callis took it from him. All right, that's how far back I'm remembering TNA stuff for you guys.
I swear to you, I saw a promo where he's Santino Marella's in the locker room and he puts on a tiara, his daughter's tiara,
and he's saying he's Santina.
No, he goes. No, I just saw the tiara and it made me think of your aunt Santina, and I just wanted to put her on. You know we look alike, and she goes, no, it was that kind of shit that made me pop. I was like, this is fucking hilarious. This kind of shit I'm all for. Like Santino Marella to me will always be one of the greatest comedic workers of our of any generation, but in particular our generation.
I say to this day, the year Del Rio won, I still say Santino should have won that Rumble
for sure.
And Del Rio beat him at Elimination Chamber to take the title match away.
Bro, when he slid into the ring, when Del Rio was celebrating, and he stood up and he started doing
and he's crying.
The crowd the camera was shaking from how the crowd. I mean, I don't give a fuck, man. Just have him win, and at Elimination Chamber or No Way Out at that year, whatever it's called, just lose to Alberto Del Rio. But that.
Oh yeah, I forgot to make mention about that. That's the latest rumor.
Speaking of forgettable wrestlers.
I knew you were going to shit on Josh Alexander at some point. I was waiting for it.
It'll be good. He'll come in. He'll be there for Evolution. He'll have a big time match at Double or Nothing. He'll have a blow off match at this All In, and then you won't see him ever again.
He'll have a blow off match at All In. You mean he'll have a blow off match on Collision?
Collision.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're giving them too much credit, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. All right, we're done with this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for joining us today. We had a great show today, man. Great chat. Everybody was in here engaged and bringing up great points and stuff like that. So thank you so much, man. You catch us every Monday here at 10:30 a.m. on your False Finish dial on the YouTubes, Eastern Standard Time. We will be back at it on Friday, 2 p.m. with the feed as well. So I got some stuff I want to break down with that, some Fantasy Booker and some. Are you guys free on Friday afternoons, or is that a busy time?
What time you talking about?
I go 2 o'clock usually.
Woof.
Yeah, so
I'll be traveling at that time. We just go to work.
I'll let you know.
Yeah. Well, I only go an hour and I like just like this, an hour and a half. We just not too long. We just kind of go through the feed and then we play a little Fantasy Booker. So I just wanted to see if you guys ever wanted to join Fantasy Booker. I'll gonna get you guys on. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Spot Monkey Radio. That is Greco or Mike. That's a great figure. It's
actually a pen.
Oh Jesus!
Sorry.
That is Malik. As you can see, the last time is now, but not for us. We'll be back here next week. So until then, ladies and gents, take it easy. Keep kayfabe. Peace.